you will receive all that you lost. Life is often a journey through the complexities of gain and loss, an intricate dance between holding on and letting go. We spend much of our lives accumulating things, whether material, emotional, or intellectual, but at some point, we must face the inevitable truth: nothing is permanent. The things we hold dear, our possessions, relationships, health, and even time itself, can slip away in the blink of an eye. But here's a powerful thought: what if all that we lost, in one form or another, would eventually return to us? What if, through some divine or natural law, we were destined to receive all that we lost? This isn't just a fanciful wish or a comforting dream. The idea that everything we lose will eventually come back is rooted in both spiritual traditions and psychological principles. It's a reminder of the cyclical nature of life, the way the universe seems to correct itself, ensuring that nothing is ever truly lost, merely transformed or hidden for a time. The cycle of loss and gain. From a biological perspective, nature thrives on cycles. Life and death, birth and decay, creation and destruction, all are interconnected in an endless loop. Think of how the seasons change. Winter might seem like a time of loss, with bare trees and cold winds, but it's followed by spring, where new life emerges, and everything lost is replenished. Just as the earth regenerates itself through these cycles, we too are subject to patterns of loss and renewal in our lives. This cyclical process teaches us that loss is not the end. It's merely a phase, a necessary part of a larger picture. When we lose something, it often feels as though there's an irreversible break, a permanent gap in our lives. But in truth, the very nature of loss hints at its eventual return, in some form or another. This understanding helps to transform the pain of losing something into a more hopeful perspective. Instead of mourning endlessly, we can embrace the idea that what was lost will be returned, maybe not in the same way, but in a form that will bring us peace and understanding. The spiritual dimension, the return of what was lost. In many spiritual traditions, there's a belief that we are always in the process of receiving back that which we've lost, often in unexpected forms. In Christianity, the idea of resurrection, particularly that of Christ, is a profound metaphor for the return of what was once lost. The resurrection speaks to the possibility that what dies can be reborn, what is lost can be found, and what is broken can be restored. This concept transcends mere physical loss and enters the realm of emotional and spiritual restoration. Similarly, in Eastern philosophies, such as Buddhism, there is a concept of samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. This cycle suggests that all things are impermanent and that every loss carries within it the potential for future gain. By accepting the transient nature of life, we become less attached to the outcomes of our losses and more open to the possibility that we will, in time, receive what we need or desire again. The ancient Greek concept of anamnesis, the idea that we have innate knowledge that we remember from previous existences, also supports this notion. Perhaps everything we lose in this life was once part of us, and we are simply rediscovering it as we continue our journey. In this sense, loss doesn't represent a failure or a void but is part of a larger, cosmic process of reclamation and return. Psychological perspectives, the healing power of loss. On a psychological level, the idea that we will receive all that we lost can be understood through the lens of healing and personal growth. Loss, especially profound loss, often triggers a grieving process that is unique to each individual. During grief, it can feel as though the world has tilted off its axis, that the pain and emptiness will never subside. However, this suffering often leads to a deep transformation. Psychologists argue that loss, although painful, can lead to greater resilience, self-awareness, and emotional intelligence. Carl Jung, the famous Swiss psychiatrist, introduced the concept of the shadow, which is the unconscious part of our psyche containing the traits we suppress or ignore. Often, the things we lose are connected to aspects of ourselves that we haven't fully accepted or integrated. In this sense, the process of loss can be seen as an invitation to confront our own shadow, to reclaim parts of ourselves that we've neglected or rejected. In doing so, we might find that the very thing we lost is returned to us in a new form, one that is more in alignment with who we are becoming. In the case of emotional or relational loss, it's possible that we may not get back the exact person, situation, or feeling we once had. However, the emotional growth we undergo as a result of that loss may eventually lead us to relationships or experiences that are even richer and more fulfilling. Through introspection, healing, and personal development, we can return to a place where we are more open and able to receive what is meant for us. The law of attraction, manifesting what was lost. The law of attraction, a concept popularized in modern self-help literature, suggests that we attract what we focus on, whether positive or negative. In this framework, the idea that you will receive all that you lost takes on an active component. Through focused intention and belief, we can bring back into our lives what was once taken away. This theory proposes that we can use our thoughts, emotions, and energy to align with what we desire and draw it back to us. The law of attraction emphasizes the importance of a positive mindset and the power of belief. It posits that when we are aligned with our highest selves and in a state of emotional balance, we open ourselves to receiving what we've lost in a more refined or abundant form. It suggests that the universe is abundant, and what we lose is not lost forever. It's simply waiting for the right time and circumstances to be returned to us. The return of what was lost, a personal journey. Perhaps the most profound aspect of the idea that we will receive all that we lost is its deeply personal nature. It reminds us that we are not separate from the ebb and flow of life, we are an integral part of the universe's grand design. What we lose can be viewed not as a misfortune but as a moment in a larger process of growth, transformation, and eventual return. The things we lose might include people who have passed from our lives, careers we've had to leave behind, or even parts of ourselves that we've outgrown. However, these losses are often stepping stones to something greater. Sometimes, the return of what was lost is subtle. It might come in the form of new opportunities, new relationships, or a deeper sense of peace. Other times, it is unmistakable, a reunion, a rekindling of purpose, or the rediscovery of something we thought was gone forever. In the end, the message is one of hope and trust. Even in the darkest times of loss, there is always the possibility that what is lost will be returned, perhaps in a form that is even more meaningful and fulfilling than before. The key is to remain open to the possibilities, to trust the journey, and to believe that life's cycles will bring back to us all that we have lost, in ways that enrich and empower us. As you walk through life, remember that the things you've lost are not gone for good. They may be waiting for the right moment to return to you, transformed by time and experience. Embrace the flow of life, knowing that you will receive all that you lost, and more, when the time is right.